Cool. Can I pick up this on my phone right now live? Or do you have to edit it first and rewrite it?
You could, but it would make my stream slow because you'd be using the same tower.
No, I mean, are you...
Yeah, I'm streaming.
You're streaming now, though.
But yeah, but it's streaming that.
So can Gus get it?
Yeah, it's on YouTube right now.
Okay, but that shouldn't be slowing you down, would it?
If you were on my Wi-Fi.
No, I'm saying if you were on, somewhere else.
Yeah.
Right. So if Gus can pick this up live right now if he wanted to, and he could see what we're doing. If you were.
With about 15 millisecond delay.
Well, 1 minute, 2 minutes, 10 minutes, it's still
15,
live.
Yeah.
It's not much. 15 milliseconds. I mean, I can't detect more than 50 milliseconds.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, pretty close. 100? Yeah, no problem. So, but if you're watching something, even if I'm going like this, and I've got a video of me doing that, you can actually.
Then, yeah, you know where the one is. That doesn't change throughout.
On my VLC or whatever it is program, I can set the delay, and if I set it to like 50 milliseconds, I can't see it. Once it gets above 100, I can see it. I bet most people probably can't see 100 either. Maybe they could. Anyway, it ain't that much. 1/10 of a second ain't that much.
Okay, so you're free on the stream and none of this is showing?
None of it's showing. Even this in front of me isn't showing.
Oh, okay, cool.
At least on
longer and I'll fix this up.
On this one up here, nothing in the table is showing. So if you got another, and I think that's what you need because you're shooting.
Audio is actually already live. So.
Oh, that's good. All right, so but you're shooting over top of the screen here, so you can't, unless you move the camera closer, you can't really get the table. It's blocked by the screen.
To do YouTube. What the fuck?
Watch your language.
This is Roger.
Children family show, man.
Over there in the empty square. Right there. That's where Gus is gonna go when he gets here. So right now we're listening to some backup tracks on shout out WikiLoops. All links will be added below. So what we intend to do is chat a little bit about what's going on in the world, what's going on locally. So the only thing we were waiting on now really is Gus, who was getting his keyboard. He just got off work, so we gotta give him just a second or two.
Well, Bobby's on his way. He'll be here in a week.
Yeah, Bobby the bassist and also hand drummer and good friend. He's been traveling, seeing friends and family out of state. He's back in the state. I believe he's got a problem with his four-wheel drive, last I heard, and they were working on trying to figure out what they were going to replace to get him home on that.
I think it works. I think the truck works without it, but he's not doing any four-wheel driving. But his friend down there is the one that works on this stuff.
Oh, so while he's there, might as well.
Yeah, they're already. But I haven't heard developments for a few days.
Right on. Yep, and then we also have couple of things that's happened in the news we can chat about. There's a plane crash. Yeah,
but you all know about that, so.
Yeah, I don't know. There's been, a couple of things discussed about it. I would say one of the most important things probably to look into for your own understanding is About 3 weeks ago, the United States military did a joint operation with media in which they unveiled the ability to fly the same helicopter with no pilot. So that's just information. Do with that information what you will.
Well, it was interesting when Trump made his speech about this yesterday. He came out and was I thought it was very professional, very presidential
I'm
about,
gonna have to check it out.
coming out and saying, that we wish the families well and everybody's grieving and blah, blah, blah. And then
He's had a lot more practice, though. 4 years of being the president, right? That's good practice. So he's like better at being the president.
So here's my segue about his segue, because he segued into rather sharply.
Here comes Gus.
Yeah, rather sharply, he segued into a political view. So, but I'll let him speak for himself. There it is, the first ding of the night.
Oh, you tap it?
I told you, every time somebody brings a guitar in.
All right, let's make sure it's still on Gus when he gets over there. I think it is.
What?
Yep.
We're live on YouTube.
Yay.
Gus is here.
Hello,
We were
everybody.
just talking about that plane crash.
The one on the airport with the helicopter?
Yeah, so there's a handful of things that let's catch you up to speed. I just mentioned that just a few weeks ago the military had a media release where they demonstrated that they could fly that helicopter with no pilot.
Ah.
So that's information, digest it, figure it, that's just a piece of information.
Okay, well, gone.
Yeah. Could be used, could not be, whatever. One thing is, I don't know if you know about the Masonic fascination with the number 33. It's generally, like whenever they do some diabolical shit, a lot of times it's like 33 victims.
33 COVID, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, like you'll see it now. I asked my friend Clint, I said, how many times have you seen 33 in this scenario since I showed you like 17 years ago? He said, countless. So now that you know, you'll see it. So it was right off runway 33. And if you look at runway 33 point where it came off of, it is the tip of a pentagram. Just piece of information. It just is what it is. You can see it from Google Space. It's the tip of a pentagram.
Which airport was it?
Ronald Reagan.
Where is that
Washington,
airport?
D.C.
Washington, D.C.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the reason they can't put tall buildings in D.C.
Yeah, which in itself is a Masonic design. It's
All of it,
It's the owl and the whole deal down there.
Well, it's even the body of the Kabbalistic map of the body.
Right? Didn't I trip you out with the fucking Mexican president being a Kabbalah worshiper?
Kind of. I mean, what I figured is like they're all in a very similar club.
Yeah.
And what was not catching is like, well, like a lot of these world leaders, they belong to major clubs. Let's call them.
I'm not surprised.
And,
Skull and Bones.
and it's like Kabbalah.
Rotary and JCs.
right.
So
Kabbalah.
it doesn't stop at the Rotary,
Masons.
right.
Yeah.
So it's like the Kabbalistic Jews is like, okay, cool. I have a book of their ancient history. Like I'm like, okay, cool. So the leaders are kind of like partitioned by a few groups only.
Yes.
And they're all fighting each other for.
Who was?
I don't think fighting.
No.
Who was?
Individuals.
Jews, you mean, or what? Who?
What individuals of these groups? So like, let's say, let's call it George Bush for some reason, right? And then let's call it in the other team.
A good example was like
Sochil.
Joe Biden was made a 33 and a third degree
Mason.
on his last act in office.
As he played the
Really?
fool.
Oh.
Yeah.
What was his-
last act in office? As I was telling you,
Okay.
they all. So he didn't get that elevation to the third until not vice president. That didn't do it.
All right.
33 1/3 came after president. And,
Well,
yeah.
Okay.
Also
Yeah.
found out. So there's different clubs, right? Like the Cross and Bones that George Bush
Skull and Bones.
right? Skull and Bones. There you go. So that club, Trump's uncle used to be in that club.
Yeah, and like I was just.
It's more like a fraternity, right?
It's a pretty deep one.
But you get in kind of on you go to Harvard, you get in if you want to. If, you know
If
somebody.
you're the right family and
Right,
you
you
have
know
political aspirations,
Exactly.
and they
Which they
greenlight
do.
it.
That's how they got
Yeah. So
And they're all Masons.
yeah.
Okay, if you
And, it's
Not hard to believe.
They're all kind of like it's. You know the Russian doll that's inside a Russian doll inside a Russian doll.
Mhm.
That's this.
Right.
Okay, they're all Masons, but are you this and this and this and
Jews
this
are a little like
and
that,
this?
too.
You know what I mean?
So on the tip of the iceberg, if you meet someone in, let's say, in a fraternity like that, they're just like some party dude,
he
whatever.
might just be there for the barbecues and business for his roofing job, and he has no idea that the Masons are involved in all the things that they're involved in.
Right.
And then he goes all the way up to the two levels of real Masons, which are so the adept and the inept or whatever. It's like the actual craftsman Masons. They use them, and then they have the intellectual Masons. And then within the intellectual Masons, they have the ones that they don't allow to have any knowledge of the interior ceremonies and
Sanctuary.
that weird shit that they do.
Bohemian Grove or whatever
Right.
shit that they
yeah,
do.
you'd have to be really like I was just talking with X on somebody, and there was this guy that was trying to not confirm Robert Kennedy, and he was waving a book, and I said, yeah, he's probably a Promethean worshiper, you know, maybe he goes to Bohemian Grove on the 15th of July like all of them. And he goes, well, I don't think he's that level. I think he's too low. That dude's too low. You know what I mean? Ah, he's probably right. This is for like heads of like Wells Fargo and fucking Citibank and fucking the International Monetary Fund and fucking the fucking Club of Rome and the fucking all those people. You know what I mean? So, and then, you know, so. Anyways, so that's a little bit of our chat this morning. I think we're gonna go ahead and jam. You brought your keyboard, so it's gonna take us a minute to plug in over there, get the amp.
I just grabbed whatever I could. I just grabbed the guitar and then just came
Put your
in.
other keyboard up then, and get that one hot.
Yeah, for sure.
All right.
No, the others you're not plugged in, or what?
Oh, wait a minute. We didn't finish up on the crash. We didn't finish up on the crash.
Yeah, we
Well,
right
I
over
thought
the
it was interesting that Reagan. I mean, oh, excuse me.
Then,
Little faux pas.
right.
Trump said, well, he got up there and he's like, you know, these poor people and all that. And then they got real political and said that the whole reason the whole thing happened was, and I'm paraphrasing, but the gist of it was that
Pretty bad.
it is pretty bad. But then they said, but they were in effect when Trump was in his first term too. So it wasn't just a Biden thing. But however, it does sound like they're, you know, and then they picked a whatever, and then they looked in it really closely, and they're like, yeah, and this is the policy, and this is the place.
They hired a lot of people that weren't qualified.
Right,
When it comes
exactly.
down to it, and
Right, they were talking about the air traffic. Well, the air traffic is a special thing. They get a lot of special
It's
training. They have to be top of the, and you know, mentally reviewed and blah, 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 blah.
But
Really?
no, the
Huh?
DEI got over that. They got past it with DEI, and
Well, that's where.
this afternoon because they couldn't figure it out.
Couldn't figure out what happened.
They had IT problems or whatever.
Oh, they couldn't figure out logistics how to take off.
The whole airline. You can Google it. I
Was
don't
it
remember-
American?
Yeah, it's an American airline. It's not American Airlines. Don't jump in the chat on that. It is an American company. Okay, or American International. I saw the name and it didn't register like as a giant, but
not American Airlines.
all of them are required to follow these DEI policies. So not anymore. I mean, they're being purged, but
Right.
I want the best pilot and the best air traffic controller.
For sure.
To drive a Boeing.
regardless of their skin color, age, or sexual
that's what Trump said.
orientation.
Just-
what Trump said.
Right.
Period.
If you're good, you're good. I don't give a shit about whether where you come from. You're good. You're good.
Eyes, 2.
right. Like maybe. good
Maybe
point.
maybe
Good
not
point.
hire like a bunch of what's it called, passionate Texans that really have a really weird point of view.
Well,
about-
Oh, I think
happened
they're
was
going to go
they
in
had
there. I think
people-
that's a done deal.
They hired
just killed that
people
one guy.
with psychological problems is part of the DEI push.
Did you hear about the guy
Okay,
who
so
just
repeat
got-
what you said. So,
They hired people with psychological problems
on the DEI.
with this DEI push into
Oh, got it.
controller positions.
So DEI is like a diversification kind of thing.
Exactly.
Yeah, what's it stand for?
Oh.
Diversity
It's something
and inclusion, right, yeah.
Equity.
Equity. Ay, no mames. Like, cause you're yeah, I got the whole thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's-
good. If you're brown, you're hired, even though you
hey,
don't know how to do
They
shit.
don't want to lower
DEI,
standards for women and things like that.
DIE.
DIE.
If you fly
Die.
DEI, you're gonna fly
DIE.
DIE.
Yeah.
Different clue.
I mean, yeah, I believe in equity of what you can do. What would that be? Is like a performance based equality, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I think someone's
Performance-based,
putting
let's
forth,
stop there.
yeah, like, oh, you gotta be rich
mental test,
if
but
you're pretty good at doing shit.
somebody in the Trump team suggested a mental test for congressmen and senators.
Yeah, good
That's
job.
awesome, because then all of a sudden that kicks out a bunch of people,
Oh, boy.
old
boy.
fuckers.
How
yeah.
about the guy that goes like this?
I think they're going to shoot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, because then he'll be.
An awful lot of
Oh.
turtles in that group.
Oh, Turtle is funny that you say that
'Cause he's going out,
Is
yeah.
the problem? His
He's been the
brain
problem.
left a while ago. He
But
literally
he's-
walks up to the mic and just stares, and they have to grab him and drag him away.
So he's not the leader anymore, and he's out next year. This is his last. He said he's retiring. He's
And
like-
this is who makes our tax codes, and that's why.
Oh, he does whatever
Congress does
what do you
whatever the
call
fuck
it?
they want.
Lobbyists tell him.
Yeah.
Period. Which I'm sure we can all figure out. Gives him a lot of money. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, even like the political powers, like Trump or left or right, like either the left or where's your stance about weed?
Oh yeah, this is a good one.
No one gives a shit about whoever that leader is. Whatever they tell you, yes, I'm gonna legalize it, or no, I'm not gonna legalize it. They don't give a shit. Nothing about what they're saying is
No, I don't
actually
give a
gonna
fuck.
happen.
So
So-
my French.
Here is the kicker. When it comes for you to be licensed as a tax preparer or a CPA or ongoing about taxes, you need to update yourself every single year with the tax code, right? So then the IRS comes in and is like, okay, well, you don't have to read the whole fucking thing. Here's the updates that we've changed and or the new things that we've implemented, and this is how you are did that or Congress did that. It was like, what was Congress? Then here's the updates about
Once you ask them point blank, probably because they don't want to get thrown out of office because they know half the people are for it and half even Eureka. A lot of people are against it.
But I know, but like a lot of these decisions are made because we run on a past year tax return.
Okay,
So right now it's 2025 and we're running on the 2024 tax returns.
okay.
Right? So a lot of implementations that we have to do is for 2024 tax year, right? The thing that already happened.
Based on that income.
Right?
Yeah.
But then the updates also affect the permanent year, which is now, right? Like the 2025, the current year. So we're looking at the past, and in 2024, the updates for 2024, which already happened, which Biden was in office, was that cannabis is going to be deschedulized. So even if
But if they didn't get to it in time,
It's already in motion.
oh, okay, yeah, all right. So Trump, all he has to do is veto it then.
So they're told, yeah, he can veto it if he wants to, but this is kind of like a done deal. And if it takes 2 years to implement it, then they're gonna come back to me and they're gonna be like, hey guys, or whoever tax person,
Deduct this.
this is how you're gonna implement it by law.
Cool. Because the law now is ridiculous.
Well, the code is ridiculous.
Yeah,
The
you
law
have
is kind of
expenses.
simple.
That was
Well,
great.
right, you
That
have
was thank
expenses and
for
you
that.
can't deduct them. Huh?
That was a great way to sum it up so we can jam now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right back around to weed. All right, guys. Thank you.
Way to go, man.
Thank you very much. We're going to see us on the jam side. I'm going to fade out to the standby, but we're going to come back and jam.